Hey everybody, welcome to Morphin Grid. I'm Jake.
I am Josh.
And today we are watching episode 23 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's called Itsy Bitsy Spider. Aired October 12th, 1993. And before we jump in, before we go watch the episode, I just want to tell you guys that last week, you've been pranked.
Well, not last week, because this might be up on Friday.
I thought we weren't doing that. I thought we were doing one for a couple weeks.
I thought you wanted to do one Friday, because our episode this week was a prank.
Earlier this week, you've been pranked.
Oh, no. Last week or this week, whatever. We got you.
We got you so good. You're like, oh, well, I'm listening to Morphin Grid right now. And then it wasn't. It was Beetleborgs.
Which I guess the prank might be on us, because we had to watch an episode of Beetleborgs out of context.
Josh has never seen Beetleborgs before, so the only episode of Beetleborgs he has seen is episode 23, the Doctor is in. So yeah, the prank was definitely on us, because not only did we have to watch Beetleborgs, my fond memories of Beetleborgs have been ruined. And
I took the time to make an album art for it.
You made album art? I had to edit the whole thing. I made a post about it.
I changed our Twitter.
You changed all of our Twitter stuff. It was a lot of work.
But we got you. The imagination picture of your faces is worth it.
Oh, you should see your face. So should we. Send pictures of your surprised face to our email.
Yeah.
To do that. Hopefully nobody emailed littleidiots.hillhurst mansion, because that's not a real one.
No, it isn't. None of that stuff is real. Hillhurst Mansion is too long to even be a Twitter handle.
Yeah, oh, Josh and I laughed about that. That's why I sound a little nasally, like more so. I sound a little stuffed up in the episode because I was laughing so much that it all drained into my nose. That all my laugh juices went into my nose. Yeah, no.
You made laughing sound gross.
I did. It's a little gross. Your body does a lot of weird stuff when you laugh. Anyway, if you're new here, hey, how's it going? What's up? Welcome to the podcast. Josh grimaces at me every time I do that.
That's why I did it on the Beetleborgs one.
To make fun of me, I guess.
You've been pranked.
I was pranked. So, if you are new here, thanks for wading through the Beetleborgs episode.
I hope you listened to it, because it was a decent episode for what it was.
It was pretty good.
Some stuff we might talk about some stuff that doesn't happen in Beetleborgs at that point.
Yeah, because I have a lot of scattered memories. Like my favorite, I cut out some stuff that I was like, I don't know if that's a thing that happened yet or not, so I just cut it out. Like the Biffington and the Bifftown Biffs. It's from an episode somewhere in the first season, but I don't know where.
It was fun. We had fun recording it.
Yeah, it was good.
I hope you had fun listening to it.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the recording. We're going to go watch Itsy Bitsy Spider, the episode of Power Rangers, not Beetleborgs, we promise.
No, we're done with Beetleborgs.
Yeah. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. You can watch along with us if you have the DVDs, if you've got Netflix. Those are definitely the most legal places. It might be on Hulu even. I'm not sure. I know the new season is. I don't know if they have like scattered episodes or what, but
I don't know. It's worth
anyway,
looking into. Email us. Let us know.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's Morphin time. And we're back. We just watched episode 23, Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Yep, definitely features a spider.
Not so itsy bitsy, though.
It is very not itsy.
He's gross looking.
It's hardly bitsy.
A lot of gross things about him.
There's a lot of gross things about this whole episode. But before we get started, let's talk about the places you can find us on the internet. Morphingrid.tumblr.com is our main website. littleidiots.morphingrid@gmail.com is our email.
I tried to get you to do the whole spiel then, but instead you're doing it now.
Do you want it to be in the beginning?
Well, no. I mean, you might as well just tell them we're at Morphin Grid on Twitter now.
Yes, well, we are, but you interrupted me. I was going to say that.
No, I know, but now we can just continue.
Right, so those are all the places. We're also on iTunes. Leave us a rating or review if you feel like it. If you're there, I mean, I don't know how you get this. I imagine it's via iTunes because that's the easiest way.
Maybe they get the MP3 off the website.
Maybe.
Who knows? You heard us somehow, and thank you.
Thank you. You're here, and that's what matters.
Keep checking us out.
You made it.
We're pretty
to
funny
this
if
place.
I do say so myself.
I think so. Objectively.
We did a whole episode of Beetleborgs just to Just to prank some people. Just to prank the 10 people who probably listen to this.
But anyway, enough about this boring stuff.
Talking about stats and math. And
Let's talk about Power Rangers. So the episode starts with the return of Trilly Watch.
It does?
Yeah.
This Trilly Watch is yours, because I didn't really see anything.
Is like, save the statue. Guess who else is saying save the statue? Billy.
Okay, all right.
Billy. And guess what? Billy seems super into it. So he knows stuff about the statue, about the lore of it. And I feel like they spent all night making those posters together. You know?
Maybe. All right.
Like,
no, I'm on board now.
Like I feel like this is the first Trilly Watch we've had in a while, so maybe I'm over. I'm jumping in with both feet, but
you're looking for Trilly Watch.
Yeah, but I mean it's the closest thing we've had. It's them wanting to do something good together. Because last time it was Kimberly and Trini. Trini and Kimberly, not Trini and Billy. So I feel like this is like a. Let's be honest. Trini's like, I really want to say the statue, and Billy's like, oh, me too.
Yeah, totally,
definitely.
I love that statue. Let me go research it real quick.
Yeah, and he got his manual out. Forest statues. So Billy and or Trini, don't remember which one, explains that the statue that is about to be torn down.
Billy does.
Is it Billy?
Yep. Because Trini does that thing where she points at him with her pencil, and she's like, yes, that's why. And then she looks at everyone else. She's like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, totes. This guy. Totes the goats. And so the legend of the statue is that it is a forest spirit that protects humans from bad bugs. He says some malevolent arthropods or something, but it's bad bugs, which include but are not limited to spiders and moths, as we'll get to. She's got a flower in her hair, the statue, that symbolizes that not all bugs are bad, some are helpful.
Yes, some bugs help humans. I want to say, at this point, this statue is in this episode because it's in the footage.
Yeah.
So they made up this whole backstory for the statue.
Or
they used the same.
This is really close to the original. This is one where the plots are similar.
Right.
Because there's not a whole lot of those. I don't know, because I haven't watched... We haven't watched the Z Ranger in since November. We haven't really watched it since November.
Yeah, no.
We'll do that sometime.
Yeah, sure. Maybe that'll be our April Fool's next year.
We'll do it all in Japanese, and you'll be like, what?
We'll watch an episode of Track Ranger.
Track Ranger?
That's the train one.
Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I say it. I don't know if that's how it actually
is. It's like T, little O, big Q.
Talk Ranger?
I've been calling it Power Trangers.
Yes. Well, duh.
So it looks neat. I think they can switch, but I don't know what benefit that has. Like they switch colors. I don't know. I'll check it out.
You get a different train.
Get a better train.
Anyway, we're getting way off.
Yeah.
Keep us on track. We got to focus.
I point out that the statue is a legend about this forest spirit because they're in Southern California, where there are very few forests.
Yep.
So where did the statue come from?
From Angel Grove Forest. Angel Grove has every biome.
Yes, that's true.
So
okay, so it's a very local lore.
Yes,
it's super local. Okay, I'll buy that. Zach, on the other hand, does not like bugs. They give him the heebie-jeebies. Hey, Zach, I know that feel, bro, because I don't like bugs much either. I get a weird fight or flight thing, and it never goes in the way of flight. I'm never like, run away from that bug. I'm like, kill that sucker. It's going to kill you if you don't first.
I'm the same way, but at the same time, I hate touching them.
I do a lot of stepping on them.
I do a lot of... We have cockroaches here because we live in Texas. It's not... Yeah. I mean, it's also partially because we live in a really garbage apartment complex.
You live in one step above the slums.
But one step stool. But cockroaches are just a thing down here. But I'll kill them.
They're littler ones, though. They're not like the big New York style.
Yeah, no, we don't have the giant.
Yeah. Or Florida palmetto bugs.
I would pay all the money to break the lease and move. But I'll kill it. But then when you kill a cockroach, you should flush it because they can still give birth after they're dead.
Yeah.
So I have to pick it up and carry it, even in a Kleenex or a paper towel.
It is really gross.
I run with my arm out you don't want to touch it. But I have to be the big strong man because Sasha is terrified of
Yes.
bugs. So I'm the one. I'm the one who has to kill them.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if she kills it by spraying it with roach spray from across the room, she leaves it there until I come home, and then I have to clean it up.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
that sounds like it's terrible. Because then it's all wet.
Yeah, it's
And you got to wash your hands like 100 times afterwards.
bugs are icky.
Skull, speaking of bugs are icky, Skull's like, hey, what do bugs ever do for humans? And Bulk's like, well, let's find out. So he opens up a bucket of cockroaches.
Cockroaches. Of course, the first one he grabs is the cockroaches.
And throws it in the air. They make this perfect arc and land directly on Jason.
Yep, right on his head.
And they're not, because it's a faraway shot of them going up. So they're obviously not real. But still.
It's obvious, and it's obviously supposed to be Bulk throwing them over everybody.
Yes.
But the bulk, no pun intended, of the contents of this bug cage lands on Jason's head. Just it's completely in his hair. And like Austin St. John freaks out for a minute.
Yeah.
He's like, oh God.
Yeah, and then Bulk is not satisfied, though, with just the one.
Oh, no.
No, because just a bunch of cockroaches is not gross enough. So he also throws... Did he do 2 more or just 1 more?
I think he opens everything. Everything ends up being opened because the next one is the beetles and the maggots being dumped on the floor.
The beetles and the maggots,
they're
in
real.
the same bucket.
Yep.
Which I don't know if that's what you want. I don't know if that's where you should keep them. But yeah, it cuts to the floor and there are real beetles and maggots on the ground and
then
it's gross.
Then I guess we're supposed to just assume off camera that they open the rest of them because then it cuts to Zach with a real tarantula on his shoulder,
screaming with his mouth wide open
in his face.
I would never open my mouth that wide near a spider that big because what if it jumps in? It lives in your mouth now.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't like that. Ugh. They're furry too. That doesn't feel right.
My guts just leapt up a little bit.
So yeah, he's got the spider on him, and then Trini comes over and does that kind of like, "I'm gonna help you," and she, like just gently kind of taps him, and then just runs behind him, and she's like, "Nope,
never mind, can't do it."
So Tommy comes over with his binder.
It's a science binder because
he's apparently enlisted in every class in Angel Grove because it's pretty dense.
No, it's a science binder. It's green, so it's a science binder.
Right. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
Was green science?
Green is totally science.
You're right, it was. Okay. Anyway, so he goes to hit the spider moves, and he just cracks Zach in the shoulder with it. Oh. And then he laughs a little bit, but like, oh, no, it's not funny.
He's like, sorry, man.
It's not funny, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, because you said he's still got a little evil in him.
Yeah, it's not all washed out yet.
It hasn't all gone away. And that actually becomes a plot point much later in the show, that Tommy's still got some evil in him. So keep that in your back pocket.
Okay.
I was talking to our listeners. You can too.
Well, I'll have to, because if I don't, then I'll forget.
Yes. So we're going to do part 1 of a 3-part What Was Kimberly Wearing this episode. Because, dang, you guys, this went through 3 different days. This one episode went through 3 different days, and she has 3 different outfits, and they're all very 90s. Number 1 is she's wearing short jean shorts. Not super short, but, mid-thigh. Which was, I think, against the rules at my high school.
Yeah, ours it had to be 4 inches above the knee.
I think the rule of thumb was put your hands down to your sides, and that's your fingertip had to hit the hem.
Some people have little arms, though.
They could wear shorter shorts.
They could wear shorter shorts. That's not fair.
It isn't. But also, girls couldn't wear like spaghetti straps.
Yeah, we had that too.
But if a guy did, there was nothing in the rules saying a guy couldn't. So, double standards, America. So she's wearing the short shorts, the shorts. They're not short shorts, unfortunately. She's got a jacket on. It's like a jean jacket, sort of. It's blue, and I think it's denim, but like a pressed denim. Like, it looks smoother than denim. I don't know.
Maybe it's denim print.
That would be funny. And then it's got pink and yellow stripes down the arms. It's like 2 pink stripes on either. It's a pink stripe on either side of a yellow stripe.
Because she had to have some pink on.
Because she had to have some pink on her. Her shirt underwears was pink, and she had her pink scrunchie and her Doc Martens. But so when I also realized that Trini is also wearing like a striped dress.
Yeah, because you went back to catch what Kimberly was wearing, like a little better.
Yeah,
and then I noticed she had Trini was wearing a really weird. It was like one of those like one pieces, but I think it might have been shorts, not a dress.
Right.
It was weird. She had a belt on it, even though it was all one piece.
Fashion, you know.
Yeah, and a yellow shirt under it because it was like red, yellow, and blue stripes.
Yeah, it was mostly red and yellow, and then every once in a while there was a blue stripe, presumably in a pattern of some sort. Sure. I don't think it was random, but I don't know, just chucked in there. But Kimberly goes up to that ends part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. It's coming up almost immediately. Kimberly goes up to Bulk and she's like, "Hey, you pea brains," or I forget exactly what she calls them.
Bimbos or
no,
something.
It wasn't.
No,
bimbo.
It was something with a B.
It definitely started with a B. It was like bionic bean brains. It was bean brains. I don't know if it was bionic, but definitely bean brains.
It might have been.
I don't know.
It was definitely an alliteration.
Yes, absolutely. So she's like, "What goes around comes around," but it never comes around. Spoiler: bugs never get on Bulk and Skull this episode.
Bugs don't.
We got one little thing, but that's not really a come around. We're throwing a bunch of bugs on Jason and other people, but mostly Jason. We cut to nighttime where Squat, Babu, and a couple putties are at the statue in Angel Grove Park, I imagine. And
sorry, I would have answered you, but I was yawning. Yeah, that's where I imagine.
I imagine everything is.
Maybe it was Forest Guardian Park. There's like a million parks in Angel Grove.
Well, there's one really big one. It's surrounded by a park. Angel Grove is in the middle of a big circle of park.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah. So they're there. They throw. Rita wants the statue, of course, because the kids are trying to save it, and she hates that. So she's got to destroy everything they love, but she's not going to just break it or throw it in the garbage. Right. She's got to get weird with it. So they throw like a sheet over it, and then that disappears. Ta-da! Ta-da! The
putties are magicians.
Are still standing. Oh, Ghostbusters!
I thought it was the flowers.
It was the flowers. Yes, the flowers are still standing. That whole scene is so funny because they're just breaking things. Like they don't need to throw everything all over the place, but they do. They just pick up a table and throw it on the ground where the table was. Like they don't move it or anything. Oh, it's great. Anyway, they steal it. Cut back to the next day in the school where what was Kimberly wearing? Part 2 happens immediately. She's wearing bright pink pants.
She is.
Pink like whoa. A very pale pink shirt. Her pink scrunchie again. All 3 outfits include this pink scrunchie. So I'm having a good day. and her Doc Martens again. And then stay tuned for part 3, which gets weird. It's a weird outfit. Part 3 is a strange outfit that I hope we see more of. But they're talking about the statue because it disappeared, right? Because they haven't turned it evil yet. Spoilers, they turn it evil. Oh.
Well, they replace it with an evil version.
That night, though? I thought it was after this.
No, they steal it, they talk about it, and then they replace it. Because the next day, the new one's there.
Is it?
Yeah, because Zach's teaching his hip-hop keto class.
That is later that day, though.
Right.
So I think there's a little bit where it's missing, and then, it's back now. Or maybe no one noticed it's missing. They're just talking about the statue because...
Oh, I want to say that they want to save the statue. We didn't talk about this back when it was relevant.
Yeah. Do you have a note?
No, I don't. I'm just checking what time it is. I'm just constantly checking what time it is.
I have a phobia of not knowing what time it is.
But they're trying to save the statue from being demolished and turned into what I'm assuming communal barbecue pit.
Yeah.
For the whole city. And Bulk is like, maybe we'll get some good chicken and ribs.
As soon as he said chicken and ribs, I got really hungry.
I'm starving. I just wanted to mention the barbecue pit.
Yes. So Billy comes up with a mouse, and Kimberly is like, "Oh man, it's so cute."
This part of the episode is only for Bulk and Skull to
get theirs.
To get theirs.
Yeah. So his name is Jack. He's Billy's research assistant, which is code for lab rat.
Billy got offended when Kimberly said she wanted it as a pet.
So he's like, I'm going to shoot this up with something green, and then I'm going to feed it to a snake.
He was like, he's not a pet. He is my research assistant.
Which is weird because, like, research assistant, that's literally just, I'm going to experiment on this mouse.
Yep.
This mouse is going to do tests for me. Hopefully it's like, oh, I have a maze.
Little Frankenbeans.
Little Frankenbeanie. Little bit. Hopefully it's like, I have a maze. I'm going to put him in the maze, and I'll give him cheese at the end.
He'll get cheese.
Not like, I'm going to see if I can grow an ear on his back.
Billy could. Billy has an ear back serum.
He's been tinkering with it for days now. He thinks it's ready. So the mouse gets knocked out of his hands.
We shouldn't have watched Beetleborgs because now Billy's a mad scientist.
Yeah, soon enough.
I ruined everything.
It was your idea. Now you've been pranked.
My initial idea was... No, it was Beetleborgs.
Yep.
My second option was VR Troopers. We should have went with VR Troopers.
We should have. There's a talking dog. I think his name is Jake. Bulk and Skull come up. A series of events happen that leads to this mouse getting knocked out of Billy's hand. I think Bulk and Skull's like...
Bulk grabs a book from Trini, and they're talking about something. I don't know. And he's like, let's see how good Jack can run an obstacle course. And he throws the book at Billy, which causes him to drop the mouse and catch the book. And the mouse immediately runs up Skull's pant leg.
Runs up Skull's pants and then jitters around and then runs out. And Billy's like, you were very brave for doing that.
Well, no, he runs up Skull.
Oh, does
Skull, like, dances around and stuff. And then he jumps into Bulk's arms like a child, like a scared child. And Billy pulls Jack out of the collar of Skull's shirt.
Okay.
Yep.
Go work.
That's why I don't take notes. I just know. I just know what happens.
I missed that because I was taking notes.
Yeah. That's why I don't take notes. If we both take notes, then we just miss the whole episode, and this is a terrible podcast.
It would go off the rails. So Trini or Kimberly is like, oh, very brave of you, Skull, or something like that.
Someone says, good catch, Bulk.
Yeah, that's Kimberly.
And,
yep.
First, when Bulk and Skull first get there, Zach says that Jack is smarter than some people he knows. And Skull says, hey, don't talk about Bulk like that.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah. I love it because Jason Narvey, National Treasure Jason Narvey, sells it in such a way that Skull is sincere.
Right.
Like, he's not just saying that to make fun of his friend.
Yeah.
He's like...
He's standing up for him because he thinks he's only insulting Bulk. Like,
it's great. He's so good. Jason Narvey should be in everything.
I don't even know where we were.
We're on the moon.
Okay.
This is the order of my notes, so I imagine this is how it went in the show because I don't really jump around. So. Sure. So they have the statue on the moon, and they're like, oh, let's do some weird stuff to it. Let's get weird. Let's make this a weird statue now. And so they turn the monster. First of all, the little clay figure of the monster, of the Itsy Bitsy Spider, is creepy.
How cool would it have been if they put the statue in the Monster-matic?
Way cooler. Way cooler than let's make a monster and then turn it into the statue. So it can knock
That's just what they do.
Yeah. And instead of flowers, it's got a snake in its hair. Ooh, spooky.
Because it's evil.
Because the Power Rangers been pranked.
Power Rangers always being pranked.
Always getting pranked.
Rita's just a prankster.
So they're like, yeah, now instead of repelling bugs, it'll have them.
It'll have bugs. It doesn't draw them in. It just has some bugs.
Them, including moths. And Babu's like, why moths? And she grabs it, and I swear to God, I thought she was going to eat it. She grabs the moth out of the air, and I thought she was going to be like, for dinner.
You just look him in the eye while she chews it.
Where's your God now, Babu? That's the face that Zach should have made when the spider was crawling on him. It thoroughly expresses displeasure, but nothing can get in your mouth. But yeah, so the mods are made of sleeping powder.
Yep.
Sure. I bet there's some weird Japanese myth about mods and sleeping powder that we don't know about because we didn't grow up there.
Probably.
We grew up where we call subs grinders. We're just different, that's all. So we cut down to Earth where Jason, Billy, Kimberly, and Trini, or rather, Jason, Billy, and Kimberly are helping Trini, or maybe Jason and Kimberly are helping Billy and Trini catch bugs. Bugs are being caught because Bulk ruined everything by throwing them on the ground.
Because it was part of Trini's science class to have these bugs.
Maybe it was
there
part
was a
of
brief throwaway line.
She had a class. It was for school, and she'll fail if she doesn't have bugs.
From the way they were talking in the hallway, it sounded like Trini gave a presentation, but did poorly because she only had like 2 bugs left.
Right? Yeah, the only bugs she had left were like really.
Because then Kimberly
really
was like,
unenthusiastic bugs.
and Kimberly was like, "That's all Bulk and Skull's fault." Because this is before they throw a mouse into Skull's pants.
This is what they were talking about when they were at the lockers. You're right. Okay.
Yep. So it just seems like she had a presentation and did poorly, so she like convinced the professor to give her a makeup presentation
with more bugs.
So then Jason was like, "We'll help you catch the bugs." And then that was that.
Now here we are.
Now here we are catching the bugs.
And now they're here. Started with no bugs.
Animal Crossing style with big nets.
That first one definitely was how I catch butterflies in Animal Crossing. So on big swing. And hopefully you catch it. So there's a bug catching montage, and there are 3 bugs in particular. There's a giant cricket made of clay. There's a giant beetle made of clay, and there's a butterfly probably made of clay. Not in that order though. Kimberly has 1 bug, and she's like, "Ooh, good one." She's like, "Billy, what kind of bug is this?" And he comes out and he's like, "Oh, let me consult my manual." So he
says, "Ooh, that's a nice find." But he doesn't know what it is because he has to look at his bug manual.
How do you know if it's nice or not? It's just whatever. Maybe it's colorful. Maybe it's a pretty bug.
Maybe it's pretty.
If such a thing exists outside of ladybugs and butterflies.
All the beetles that are like colorful and stuff look like you know how oil looks on the pavement in the sun?
Yeah.
That's how they look.
Yeah.
Iridescent like that.
That's the word.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, they do look pretty good. Oh, also, Zach is not with them because bugs. And because he has a hip-hop keto class to teach.
Yes.
Tommy is not here because he needs to be called later.
Right.
So he's off doing karates.
He's in like a secluded corner of the park.
Doing karate by himself.
He's still in the park, but there's like a tree and there's a lot of overgrown shrubbery around this one area where he is.
It's shady there.
Yeah. Well, it's secluded, so he can do all his kias.
And no one's like, "What are you doing? Quit yelling."
Because this is Tommy's, not counting Green with Evil because there's 5. So this is like his
second episode.
Yeah. So like he hasn't made kias cool yet.
Right. He's overusing them. I think he's trying to get us used to it so that way when he does it less frequently, we're like, "Oh, he does a Kia." Because he's just yelling a lot right now. And not right now. We haven't even gotten to Tommy yet. But eventually we will. And he's just yelling in the woods somewhere. So Billy's got a manual of bugs tucked in his overalls. And I was like, if this was nowadays, he would take a picture of it with an app. And the app would be like, "This is this bug."
Yep.
Because 1993 was a different world, kids.
Had to carry books with you when you went bug catching.
So then, wouldn't you know it, putties attack.
What?
I know. In a Power Rangers episode? So putties attack them, and it's a pretty good fight because they're all separated.
Yeah.
So they get to just beat up putties by themselves.
It's
Jason
weird.
Murders one of them.
It's a weird fight though, in the way that it's a lot of long shots and panning between them.
Right.
Which is weird. It's not something it's not how they usually do it.
No,
it's usually cuts
there's a lot of
and
cuts.
close-ups.
Yeah. But maybe they'll let's try something different.
Yeah. But Jason definitely murders a guy.
One putty, one man, a human being in a suit jumps at Jason, who greets him with a kick in the entire stomach.
Yeah.
And this kick lands. This is not, and then it's so good. They do that do.
The No Mercy replay.
The No Mercy triple replay. Oh, that poor guy. Oh, can you imagine getting kicked in the gut that hard and then you have to get out of the way because a fight is still going on. So it just crawls. Oh, I would be like, "Cut, please." I have to go throw up blood now. They beat the putties.
Duh.
why were the putties sent? Was it just to like screw with
Because
them?
Rita literally says, "Oh, I almost don't want to ruin their little nature
hunt,
hunt," and then she does.
She's like, but
she's
I
like,
will.
"But send the putties because I hate these kids.
They're my mortal enemies.
Need to get off my planet."
Even yours, Rita.
Well, in her head, it is.
Yeah, definitely. So then we cut to a hip hop keto class. You know that little shot in the beginning of every episode with Zach doing those like shoulder thing?
The opening credits
Yeah.
where he does that little shoulder pop.
Yeah, that's from this episode.
That's from the 23rd episode of Power
23
Rangers.
episodes in. And here we are. Finally getting to that part, which is weird because I thought they filmed 15 maybe they didn't start airing until after the 23rd because that's been in the credits the whole time.
Yeah.
So maybe they had 25. I don't know how many they had done. Let's call Tony Oliver. I almost said Tommy Oliver.
That's the character.
Can't call him. He ain't real. So he does this like Russian jig. Like it's like
Just like kicks his legs out, kind of
kicks
like
to the side and then a kick to the front. And then by kick to the side, I mean like
it's a dance move.
he does like a. Oh man, do you remember when you were in? I don't know if you did this in your elementary school. In gym class, we would have to like run around, like as a warm up. We would run around the gym, and every length would be a different like move.
Yep.
One of them was like side saddle or horse step or something.
Yep.
That's what he
It's
does.
basically that.
He does one of those, a standing horse step into a front kick. And then he's like, all right, who wants to try? Because first he's just doing hip hop keto. And I'm like, this is more of a demonstration than a class. But then he does start teaching. He's like, all right, here's a move.
Maybe he opens with a demonstration. He's like, you'll be able to do this cool, almost capoeira, but not.
But not.
But not really.
Definitely.
It's a funkier version.
A funkier, more practical maybe version of capoeira.
Yeah. Because it's
like,
basically regular martial art. I don't know which one it's based off of.
Probably Taekwondo. I don't know. Is Hapkido a thing?
Hapkido, I'm pretty sure, is a thing.
This is hip Hapkido. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so if it's based off Hapkido, it's just Hapkido with dance moves peppered in it.
And those like provide
flair.
a distraction. Because like if I was about to fight someone and he did that little horse step, I'd be like, what? And then I get kicked in the front.
And then you would get kicked in your chest or face, depending on how high he jumped.
On how motivated he was. So then he's like, anybody want to do it? And a young William Zabka is like, like I do. For those who don't know, William Zabka was the bad guy in The Karate Kid. So, and this kid looks just like him.
Yes, he does.
Except The Karate Kid came out in like 1986, 1987. Right. And this is 93, so like it's definitely later. But anyway, so he does it, really white though.
Really awful.
He does like I would do it. And he's like, all right, good. Let's get some funkier music. And he goes to put in a cassette. And it's not there. His cassette's not there. I don't miss cassettes, but I kind of miss cassettes. I think we've talked about this before.
What I miss about cassettes is that very satisfying clunk you get when you put one in the player.
When you hit play on a cassette player and that and then like the kind of reel starts rolling, you're like, I am doing something. I just did a thing. I made something happen. Now you're like, scroll through your iPod. Oh, skip this song because I don't want it.
It has an added sound effect.
Does yours do a skip sound effect?
Maybe not. Maybe I only imagine it there. I don't know if it actually does. Anyway, that's for a different podcast.
Yeah. But
I don't know what podcast that's for, but it's not for this one.
I feel like we have talked about how much I miss cassettes before, but not like in a weird way. Like I just missed the fact that they are a thing and not just like a CD even is like, your music is on here, trust me. But like you can manipulate it in like a much easier way.
Right, you can skip to a
whereas like with a tape,
track.
you're like, I want to listen to all of Queen's jazz. I have to listen to the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, if you want to listen to the last song, you either have to listen to the whole album or really work for it.
Yeah, or spend like 30 minutes fast forwarding and then stopping and having to judge whether or not you're in the beginning or if you're anywhere near it.
Right.
There's a lot more work going into it, having a cassette. But anyway, this is not
like an 8-track where it was literally a block of songs. You couldn't just fast forward to the last one. You had to listen to all 4 in that block.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
But it gave birth to the cassette, so hey.
Yeah, and then we got CDs, and now we just have files that we can put on basically anything.
And now I can't listen to an album unless I want it.
Right.
Like now I'm like, I just want to listen to these songs off of it. Or I want to listen to this song, then I want to listen to a completely random song afterwards.
9 times out of 10, if I don't want to listen to a particular artist, I shuffle everything.
That's how
If I do want to listen to a particular artist, I shuffle all their songs.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. It's sort of ruined the way we listen to music in a way, but at the same time, it's like
It's streamlined it.
Yeah, I can have a huge library on a little square. Like, I don't have to carry my Discman around. I saw a homeless lady with a Discman at Target the other day.
There's only one CD in that. There's at most 20 short songs in there.
Yep. I don't even know if it had batteries.
Anyway.
Zach's like, oh, I forgot my cassette in my car. Zach is 16 at least. Confirmed.
Has a car.
So he runs to his car.
Again, I don't know what the laws in California are, though.
I imagine it's 16. They might not need a permit. Well, they definitely need a permit.
Because I know
New Hampshire's the only place where it's like, just do whatever.
Just drive until you get a license.
Just drive. Have a parent with you if you feel like it. Whatever.
Right, as long as you don't get pulled over, it's
Live
not
free
illegal.
or die. But yeah, so he runs to his car and he's like, all right, William Zabka, you teach them how to do that move.
he says, I'm going to go get that. You guys practice. And Zabka steps up and he's like, okay, it's like this.
Steps up to the plate.
And he does another awful one.
He's done it one time before.
That's one more time than anybody else.
He has 100% more than everybody else. That's true. So Zach runs to the car. Moths kill the children.
They come in endemic all over the kids.
Endemic, shock and terror them. Then they're all knocked out.
There's one that just looks like it's pooping on
One
them.
of them farts out a bunch of dust. That's all it does. I wish, and the technology probably wasn't there because I don't know like how you would do it analog because they look like butterflies, or like at least fake ones that they are somehow manipulating with strings or something because it's not CG,
right.
And they're just shooting out dust. I wish they would have exploded into dust. Like they would just like little sleep powder bombs. That would have been great. You know, let me call 1993 real quick. Tell them to fix it. Or 1992, because I don't know how long before they made it. Anyway, Zach comes back, sees all the dead children, and you just went, did everyone die while I was in my car?
Because Zach is responsible. He's the responsible adult for these kids.
Yeah.
So if everybody, immediately, if I came back and everyone was laying on the ground motionless, I'd be like, oh God, all these kids just died on my watch.
Something happened and I'm in trouble now. But
instead, he just calls Zordon.
Yeah, not their parents.
Well, no need to alarm them unless they're, actually in trouble.
My first thought was, how is he going to explain this to their parents?
Also, these moths, part of Rita's plan is to put the Power Rangers to sleep with them. Only these kids are knocked out by these moths.
Kids who get attacked by the moths. My first thought was, how is he going to explain this to their parents? Can you imagine him, like, first of all, he has to go to a phone.
Right, because he doesn't just have one.
Can he leave the kids?
No.
So he needs to get, like...
he needs to wave down a better adult.
Yeah, hey, I need you to go watch these... No, you can't watch these kids because I don't know you. Or maybe in 93, they'd be like, watch these kids. I have to go make a phone call. So I guess calling Zordon is probably the most efficient thing. But then he just leaves the kids in the park. Because he's driven away by moths that come in and chase him like they are the birds in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Hitchcock's Birdemic.
Birdemic. And so he's running from them, and there's definitely a North by Northwest reference when it's like showing him running at the camera and the moths are behind him kind of coming. And then he gets to the statue where the moths should be the most concentrated.
Because he's running from these moths. He's like, oh, am I going to get away? And he's like, oh, I got to go to the statue because the statue protects us against bad bugs.
These are the baddest bugs of all. So they don't get much better than this or something to that effect. But he gets there. There you go.
He runs to the statue, which is now covered in bugs.
Yes, and something is up. But also, it's got a snake instead of a flower. So he's like, it's got to be Rita. It's Morphin time. And he immediately morphs.
Right, he morphs, and then he blasts the statue with his cannon.
Oh, man. I wish... If this was made now, Like if they remade the first season of Power Rangers, like from the ground up. So it's like, this is Zach. And they just did every episode again. I would want him to shoot the statue and it just to be the statue.
He just demolishes the statue.
And it just dies. And he goes, oops. A monster did that, Trini. It was a monster. It wasn't me. Also, this is the first time he uses the axe as a cannon.
The cannon.
Without the power, making it the power cannon.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat. It's very large, though. It's a little impractical. He has to, he's holding it like a low-slung AR-15, like he's Rambo. But it only shoots one laser bolt. But anyway, he shoots it. Spider Monster jumps out. Surprise!
Which is way bigger than the statue.
And, yeah, it's way bigger than the statue because when things are cooked, they shrink?
The look on your face while you piece this together is priceless.
I'm like, how does science work in these scenarios? Because, if you cook... No, because if you heat something, it expands. Because water...
Yep. Well, no, because shrinky dinks, they shrink when you bake them.
Yeah. Which is weird. Here's the thing. Now make it tiny. I don't understand shrinky
dinks. Yeah, and I
dinks.
can put it in my pocket. I can walk around with it.
Make it a keychain, I guess. But because water is the only thing that doesn't do that. If it freezes, it expands.
Right.
Because of the way its molecules work. Or not water, liquid. So maybe the inverse is true for evil clay monsters, is when you heat it up, it shrinks?
Magic. Rita put him in there with magic.
The Monster-Matic is a prototype Shrinky Dink.
Definitely. It's the opposite, because it makes these little clay guys into real life-size monsters.
You're right.
She put him in there with magic. It's the only way.
Magic. a witch.
She's a space witch. She has magic. She put him in there with magic.
Yep. Okay, so Goldar also just appears, too?
Yeah, because he fights... They named the spider, and I forgot what it was. Cyber Spider.
Cyber Spider.
It's not that.
That's what I'm going to call him now, because I don't remember. It's that or Bitsy. Your choice.
It's Cyber Spider.
Cyber Spider. Because he's so cyber. I really hope you guys listen to the April Fool's episode, or else all these jokes are just not landing.
We've been pranked.
We've been pranked. Everybody getting pranked. So, yeah.
And then the spider gets the upper hand, and Zordon calls...
But Goldar is there before.
Maybe that's wise, because Goldar went there. So now the fight is escalated.
Goldar's like, Zach can handle this. It'll build character. Because I think that's Gordon's. That's Zordon's cousin. Zordon is like, I think his main motivation is to build the character of these kids. And the only way he knows how to do that is to have them be attacked constantly. A constant fear of death and mortal peril.
Because they were just so... They were just such bad kids before.
They had such bad attitudes before.
He never specified bad attitude. He just said attitudes.
With an attitude. They have positive attitudes.
Everybody in the planet has an attitude.
An attitude, yeah. They have positive attitudes, and that's important to being a Power Ranger, because you want someone with some can-do spirit.
Right. If you're going to save the world, you don't want to be a negative Nancy.
No. All right, anyway, back to spiders. So... Zordon calls the other Rangers who have finished
bug hunting. Because they're now leaving the bug area of the park.
Yes, it's a safari zone, but only for bugs.
For bugs.
The bug-fari zone. Why did I say that? I immediately forgot.
Because you had to get it out.
I did, or else we get caught up and it'd be a mess. My nose is getting stuffed up because we're laughing so much, and I guess that's what happens when I laugh now. So they're leaving the bug zone of the park, and... Zordon calls him like Rangers.
Well, so, it does the communicator beep,
right?
And then Jason throws the bug cage he has in his hand on the ground.
He doesn't throw it so much as completely forgets about it immediately. Like it's still in his hand, and he goes, "I don't even know what that is anymore." He just goes right to his watch because he got more important things. We rewound it to see what he was chucking on the ground.
I figured it was like a bug container, but I wasn't sure. If it was like a guidebook or something. But no, it was a container presumably with a bug
with bugs in it.
Important to Trini's presentation that he was just like, oh.
Whatever. Which brings up a question that I have that I thought up 1 second ago. Where do their things go when they morph?
They stay where they are. or they go to the command center.
The Morphin Grid has to do something with that. They must teleport to somewhere, probably a safe space, a locker room in the command center, and then they get it back because they obviously want those.
Maybe
bugs.
that's why Jason just tossed it on the ground because he knew it would be fine. The Morphin Grid will get it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Jason has a blatant disregard for Bug's life. Bug lives?
For a Bug's life.
For a Bug's life. He hates the movie. Thinks Ants was better. He's wrong.
He's way wrong.
So then they teleport to the statue area of Angel Grove Park where Zach is, where Goldar is like shooting like fireballs from his sword. No, that's after because the spider catches them in a net and they're all like, "Oh no, I got silly string," and then he goes, "Yep, and you're on fire."
So he catches them all in a net, and they're all like, "Oh, we can't move." But Zach's fine, and he jumps up and attacks.
Well, because he was behind them.
He still was covered in spider web.
Well, I don't know. That's what the black...
He's brave, right?
Yes.
He's so brave that he just...
Rita, seeing that the Power Rangers are here now, is just done playing. So she's like, she's going to throw the wand. And she says, "Now, magic wand, let my monster grow.
Let my spider grow.
Let my spider grow." So, like, last episode was the first use of make my monster grow.
Yep.
And now she's saying things that are close to it because I think they're like, "That's a good one.
Right.
Why didn't we just use that?" So, like, they're gonna tinker with it a little for a couple more episodes.
Yeah.
Before they probably just settle on "Make My Monster Grow." Or they won't, and we just remember the one as like that's the best one. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out going forward. So he grows, and they do my favorite thing, which is we're running low on time. Do the whole Zord sequence. Every Zord can come out slowly. I want to watch
each one of them contort into their piece of the Megazord,
and they all slowly come together.
Oh, I forgot how weird this fight is.
I like it because
I like it, but there's one weird thing, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Okay, so then it slowly lurches up, and then now the Megazord sequence has initiated. I almost said has been initiated.
Yeah, you almost said it right, but then you didn't because you caught eyes with me.
I did. I saw you like staring dino daggers at me. So they come together. They fight him for a second. Cyber Spider shoots whipped cream at them.
Whipped cream. Like shaving cream, not like Cool Whip, because it's fluffy like shaving cream.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh no, we are trapped.
Can't
now.
move the legs.
Can't move the legs."
Then he catches them in a web
web. Oh, it's a good looking web too.
It is, and then it shocks them a lot.
Yeah.
And so then Zach yells, or maybe it was Jason. Disengage Megazord.
Transformation complete. Once they're disengaged.
Why?
Oh, because when you disengage, they all break apart, and that breaks.
That's the weird thing.
That is a weird thing.
Megazord is your win button. Why did you?
Oh, because he's too strong for the Megazord. So you're gonna attack him from all sides until Tommy can get there.
But they don't.
They attack him separately because they turn.
Well, three of them do.
Yeah. But the thing that gets me is Jason yells.
Pink is just hanging out in the background.
She went home.
Yeah, she flew the pterodactyl back into the volcano and just sat at home. They don't even like me anymore.
I'm just gonna do my nails, whatever. Yeah, like the weird thing for me is that he goes disengage, and then yells transformation complete. It's not sort of a transformation technically, but that's not what I would call a transformation.
I just feel like they threw that stock footage of the Red Ranger in, and they needed to say something.
Right.
Like it couldn't just be him.
They couldn't have made the
it's just his
fight
face
1 second longer. They couldn't have shown Jason killing that guy a fourth time, and that would have been the same amount of time.
Transformation complete.
I don't know. That was the weird part. Then they fight as individuals, which I was thinking, like, because they immediately went to Megazord, and I was like, oh man, I hope they still do individual fights anymore. I hope it doesn't turn into Zeo.
Yeah.
You know. Not Zeo. Yeah,
basically,
Zeo, that's the bad part. That's the only bad part about Zeo.
Basically, once they get to the Thunder Zords, like the Red Dragon has a human mode that it uses a couple times, but other than that, it's just all Thunder Megazord or Mega Thunder Zord.
Thunder Megazord.
Thunder Megazord.
Yeah, but then they broke apart immediately, and I was like, yes. And they fought separately. The ice cannon from the mammoth didn't work.
I don't remember what the Triceratops did, but he didn't launch his horns at him, did he?
No, he shot him with his tail, I think.
Okay, yep.
Because he also can do that. So then the T-Rex...
Yeah, and then Zach freezes him.
But he shakes it off.
Because he's like, you mess with my friends, now I'm going to mess with you. And he freezes him, and he just wiggles out of it.
Wiggles the powder off. Then the T-Rex, like, jumps from, I guess, 100 yards away because of how big they are. I don't know how far it would be. But he jumps and, like, flies at him. Because
100 yards is just a football field. It's basically the T-Rex's foot.
He's not that big. That'd be ridiculous.
Well, a lot of the trees are really tiny.
That's true. And the buildings are, like, pretty small. I don't know. Anyway, he flies. He literally just jumps in the air and flies at them. And I went, oh, of course, because T-Rexes, everyone knows that T-Rexes could fly.
Right. They're very nimble. They jump around all the time.
All the time. Forever. They got little arms, but they make up for it with unwinged flight. In short bursts. They can hover. They jump up
glide.
And they hover. Yeah, they glide. They're like gargoyles. They're like, oh no, we need Tommy because we're getting our butt kicked. Because Cyber Spider's not messing around. He did not come to play.
No, he came to fight.
Yeah, he didn't come to compete. This is a demonstration, basically, that he can beat them up.
He's teaching a Cyber Spider hip-hop keto class.
Hip-hop keto class.
So yeah, Jason calls Zordon, says, we need Tommy. He's like, yeah, you're right.
You're right.
He calls Tommy.
You're doing pretty garbage. Then this is where we talked about earlier, where Tommy is just yelling at a tree in the woods.
Well, the tree's behind him. He's just yelling in the
There
woods.
could be a
He
tree
has
in
a
front of him.
sword. He's doing sword katas.
That's what I would call him.
Yeah, he's just yelling, doing his kias. This scene, like, because Zordon hasn't called him yet, so like when we cut to Tommy, it's in the past a few seconds.
Yeah.
Because this scene exists only to show off Jason David Frank.
Yeah, I wrote down that he is always practicing.
Yeah.
Always doing
Because he's
karate.
the best martial artist in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying it.
Yeah,
It's
he's got
like-
an undefeated MMA record.
Yeah.
Which I don't know who he's fought. I don't know how credible it is.
He's fought
but I don't care.
a couple people.
He's undefeated in
Look,
MMA.
the point is he punched people in the head so good they didn't want to fight him anymore. Enough time to be undefeated, have a streak.
And maybe he's not like the best martial artist. I'm not a martial artist. I don't know the criteria, but he's definitely the most fun to watch do martial
really
arts.
fun. Yeah, when we saw that live demonstration, I was into it. I was like, this because he lit stuff on fire.
Yeah,
Come
he had
in.
flaming nunchucks and swords. It was awesome.
It was great.
It was so cool. So yeah, this scene exists to show off how good he is at doing karate.
And they keep doing it. This is the second episode where that's a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they're going to do it, but I'm okay with it for a little while longer because it's still exciting. And it's a good thing. Like, it explains why Tommy's so good because he's always practicing. You know? Like, it's not just like he's good at karate, trust us. So like, we hardly see Jason practicing anymore, but he's still really good. But Tommy's a little bit better. And it's because he practices a lot.
Right.
At least that's my opinion on it. So then
the communicator goes off.
Yeah, he's like,
he stabs the sword into the ground behind him
like a man.
Anyway, he throws the sword into the ground. It sticks it into the ground. Answers it. Zordon's like, Tommy, go help them. He's like, you got it.
Done. And then he morphs. Where I like how they all say their thing, and he just says Dragon Zord. I wish he was like Godzilla monster or like Godzilla. Dragon Zord comes up, and Tommy does not get into the Dragon Zord.
Well, first he warps in, and then Jason's like, Tommy, we need your help. He's like, you got it. And he plays my favorite song. And he summons the Dragon Zord. And the Dragon Zord's like stomping his way because he has to walk from the ocean to wherever they're fighting. And then Jason sees him and he's like, yeah, all right. Like, Jason's like, that's the coolest sword.
Because Jason is looking at it and he's like, no, that's a good one. That's a good looking sword. And then, so he shows up. He starts like getting the weird thing is I think this fight is cut down a little bit because he already has like a wound.
Yeah, because he like swings his tail into him. And then it cuts to the Dragon Zord like backing away, presumably from the tail swing, but he's smoking from his chest. So it's obviously footage from the fight that we didn't see.
Yeah, that they were like, no, let's just have him beat up the thing. Because he does. My favorite move is where he kicks it in the junk so hard that this thing flips over him.
Yeah.
He kicks it, it goes up, and then behind Dragonzord, he kicks him behind him. That's how hard he kicks him. That's a lot to the junk.
I like it. It's just a blatant low blow.
Because there ain't no rules in fighting monsters, right?
And then
Your city's life is on the line.
And you mentioned that Tommy doesn't get in the Dragonzord. He very rarely gets into the Dragonzord. He controls it with the Dragon Dagger.
That's him saying, murder these guys for me. You got a Dragonzord.
Because in the footage, in the Japanese show, like, they're all sentient. All the swords are, like, kind of alive.
And he just controls this one with a dragon.
He's a Sixth Ranger. He has no rules.
No rules. They say, "Oh, let's form the Mega Dragon."
Well, first, Cyber Spider gets Dragonzord in the web. Then Tommy does the ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, which is still just 6 notes.
Yep. Does the missiles,
which just he blasts him with missiles and he's fine. The web's gone. Just
right. Get that.
I could have sworn as we were watching it, I'm like, at some point, I think the spider gets somebody in a web and they just rip through it. But that didn't happen. Because I thought Megazord was just going to rip it apart.
Get out of here.
No, come on. Get your weak-ass garbage out of my house.
So, I don't know what they all say, but Jason, Billy, Trini, and Zach all agree that they should make the Mega Dragonzord. Kimberly has no opinion.
Because she's not part of it. Jason's not part of it either.
But he says you should make he's the one who initiates it. I'm pretty sure Kim just went home. She's like, She's not in any more of the footage, because it shows the other 3, but the pterodactyl's not there.
Yeah. There's just no more Pink Ranger in this fight.
She went home to do her nails. She's like, look, I know I'm not going to help. I'll just get out of the way. Right. I got homework, so I'm just going to leave. So, yeah, she's gone. Then this is confirmed that the Mega Dragonzord is black, blue, yellow, and green. Because they say it by name.
Yep.
So that means the Dragon Megazord has to be everybody with the Dragonzord draped over it.
Yep.
So that's confirmed. They beat the monster. Do they use the drill?
Yeah. They're the Dragonzord. They just drill him in the gut. We get one camera shot from the back side of the hole through the spider.
Yeah.
So you see the Mega Dragonzord.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get a shot of him through the hole in Cyber Spider, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
A little gruesome.
A little bit.
But kind of cool. And then he just falls over and dies. They killed him in like 2 seconds with the Mega Dragonzord.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if someone drilled a hole through me big enough to see through, I would just die too.
Right, but they just immediately they not morph, but
they combine.
They combine and immediately just he's done.
Drive a Prius through him. That's my Prius sound effect. That's why I said that. They win. They cut back down. Zach runs up to the kids as if he just got back.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you guys sleeping on a job? I need to get you some vitamins. Let's do some hip-hop keto." He left 11 children laying in the park for at least 20 minutes. I'm going to
assume that these moths also put to sleep everybody else in the park.
Hopefully.
I hope so, for Zach's sake.
Because imagine if it didn't, and he just ran away, and it was like, what? Dude, you got kids you got to take care of.
Like, he just leaves. Nope.
He's
bye.
like, I am, trust me. And he leaves. But yeah, so then they do some hip-hop keto. They all do
an awful version of the saddle step front kick.
Saddle step front kick. Then cut back to school where we do What Was Kimberly Wearing? Part 3. She's wearing her Doc Martens. Were they Doc Martens? No, they were just her regular shoes, her regular like pink tennis shoes. And a giant purple frock. It's a dress, but it's huge. And I like it.
Also, Tommy had a giant green, like, Mexican poncho on.
Yeah, he was definitely wearing...
with a hood on it.
He was definitely wearing... well, you know... Because
he's a 90s teenager.
I don't know.
It's funny. It's just
it is. Yeah,
a lot of Tommy's clothes are funny.
They haven't figured out how to dress him like the cool guy and not just Green Jason yet.
Right.
So he's just Chuck Dragon right now. Soon he'll be
the guy.
He'll be the guy. So then Kimberly says, Trini comes down the stairs. She's like, the city changed their mind. They're not tearing the thing down. And Kimberly goes, what brought on the flip-flop? Which is something I am going to do my best to work into my daily lexicon now. That is the best way to say what changed their mind.
Yep.
That is, you did it.
We just watched Airplane last night, and that reminds me a lot of Jive. Speaking Jive.
Oh, I was like, is that a character? I've never seen Airplane.
No, they speak Jive. It's two black guys who talk
right
in Ebonics, like very thick Ebonics.
Right. That is a little jivey. It's
yeah.
90s jive. That's what the 90s is. It's like, let's take some 70s stuff and make it us.
Right. Brought on the flip-flop. I like that.
That's good. And then she's like, I don't know what she said.
No, they declared it a national or historical landmark.
Right, historical landmark, the forest spirit of Angel Grove Park. Then he's like, so Tommy's like, Zach, so I guess this got you over your fear of spiders, right? And Zach's like, yeah, it definitely helped a lot.
He's like, yeah, that's definitely a fear that I don't have anymore.
And then he goes, good, because there's a big one right on his shoulder, because Tommy's a jerk. And Zach has a panic attack about this spider.
Well, at first he's like, no, come on, you're playing. And then he looks and he's like, ah! He does the same thing.
He does the same face. But he's like, no, it's fine, it's fake. It's a fake spider.
And they all have a laugh.
Got you, sucker. And that ends the episode.
Yep.
So, final thoughts.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was.
There's a lot of really. There was a couple like kind of weird things, but there was enough really cool things to balance it out that it was fine.
Yeah, I really like that the episode actually makes sense with the footage. It's not just like,
yeah,
hey, I want to save this dump or shut down this dump. Good, fight this minotaur. Like, it's like there are bugs.
Yeah, he protects us from bugs. There's a spider monster.
Bug monster. And they're like, they could have just not had the statue in it at all, but they didn't. They're like, no,
right, we're
gonna work the statue in, and they had a good working statue. Like, it looked good.
Yeah,
the American version did. Yeah, I think the episode just like fit together really nicely.
It did. It was really good.
Also, episodes like this really make you appreciate how good Power Rangers is compared to Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs was bad.
Beetleborgs used all of 35 seconds of Japanese footage in the episode that we watched. It doesn't hold up at all. I'm sorry.
It's written exclusively for younger kids.
It is, but it's a slightly more sophisticated than Power Rangers. So like, but in a weird way, like it's more sophisticated in a childish way where it's like it's for kids, but like here's jokes about bellhops,
right?
Or constables. Like there's a lot of things like that like you have to like get.
But like and Power Rangers is cartoony.
Yeah,
but Beetleborgs is basically a cartoon.
Is just shy of a cartoon. Flabber literally has no rules. He's a cartoon character in the 3D world because he doesn't have any rules to him. And watching it really makes you appreciate how well Power Rangers is held up.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks, Beetleborgs.
And thank you, Beetleborgs, for showing us that. I don't have anything else to say.
I think we're done.
So
wrap it up.
So if you want to talk to us on or about the internet, morphingrid.tumblr.com is our website. You can email us at littleidiots.morphingrid@gmail.com, or you can talk to us on Twitter at morphingrid. Do me a favor, if you do follow us on Twitter, reblog an episode. Maybe this one, maybe our April Fool's one, just to kind of spread it, because that's the easiest way on Tumblr, at least. You reblog it, other people see it, they might get into it. Just do me that favor, or don't. It's your life. I'm not in control of it.
No, but definitely do that if you can.
Thanks for you being the pandery guy. Also, if we are on iTunes, if you're there and you feel like leaving us a rating and review, it helps the algorithm, whatever that means. That's just what Colt Cabana told me. And basically, so more people can see it, more people can be in on our very specific jokes with you. You'll make new friends via the internet eventually. I mean, if everybody listens to us, you're going to run into somebody.
We could bring the whole world together. If you guys would just play along.
If you guys would just review us. No. Just
let us know if you hate us.
Yeah, just tell us what you think. And email us. We've gotten a couple emails, but it's all been from our actual biggest fan, Guy 3. So, cool, dude. We are looking into Ranger Board, but I don't know if I want to pay any money.
It's just... It's only $5, but having to pay them money is skeeving me out.
Right. But anyway, enough about that. Thanks for listening. We will return next Monday. We promise. Because we're recording another episode right now specifically for Monday.
I'm thinking now that we're at the end of this episode, this is probably going to end up being a Monday episode. So
we definitely have another one next Monday too.
Yes.
Whatever the outcome is.
We're gonna be back on our Monday schedule.
Yes.
Our Monday plus bonus whenever we have them.
Yep. So thank you for listening. Until next time, you've been pranked.
Oh, I just got pranked because I almost said it. You went so hurriedly, I felt
I
rushed.
saw you go for it because you were on point. But for real though, until next time,
may the power protect you.
You've been pranked. Earlier this week, you've been pranked.
You've been pranked.
Now you've been pranked. Because the Power Rangers have been pranked. We've been pranked. You've been pranked.
We've been pranked.
You've been pranked.
Is that going to be the name of the episode?
Yep.